when you integrate or when you create IHS definition from a standalone profile, admin console, you don't create a node to place your IHS. That is why it gets saved under the same node under servers, right? So now, as we are using a centralized management, which is DMGR management profile to manage all the nodes and all the server instances, irrespective of which server type. So for IHS, we can create unmanaged node. So add node, you can see there are three options. Unmanaged node specifies the creation of an unmanaged node, and it represents a node in a topology that does not have an application server, process, or a node agent. So we have discussed about this. Unmanaged node does not have a node agent. Example, standalone profile. It does not have a node agent because it is not federated with the DMGR profile. And the second option is creating an unmanaged node from the DMGR console. So unmanaged nodes are for other server processes, such as web servers that exist on their own node in the topology. So we are going to create an unmanaged node. Next, and I'll name it as IHS unmanaged node. And the host name 192.168.2.11 and 132. So platform is Linux. Apply. Okay. Review. So under DMGR cell nodes, a new node is added, and unmanaged node, a server index.xml and a node.xml. These are the three files added. Synchronize, even if you click on synchronize, that doesn't work because it says that automatic synchronization node is disabled and the configuration synchronization completed for the cell, but actually there is no synchronization process. Simply it stores and it creates the required configuration files. Just give me a second. Let me put that phone away. Yeah, sorry for that. That's my wife's mobile. Okay. So as I was saying, there is no synchronization because for unmanaged node, there won't be any node agent process, but simply it saves the configuration inside the unmanaged node. So now that we are done with the creation of unmanaged node, so let us add the steps here. Yeah, here. Creating IHS web server definition from DMGR console. So number one, create DMGR profile and start the service. Number 2, federate standalone server or custom profile. Number 3, create an unmanaged node from DMGR console. Number 4, create IHS. Okay, create a web server definition with IHS server template, HTTP server template, and map the definition to unmanaged node. After that, we will see now. Okay, we have created the unmanaged node. Now, server types, web servers. So now there are no web servers. Click on new. So by default, you see here, it has selected IHS unmanaged node. Now, server name, IHS, let me give 2, IHS2, and that server template, IBM HTTP server. You can also integrate Apache or Microsoft IIS. Next, so this is a server template. Now here, let us take the actual exact paths. So this is IHS root installation location, and this would be plugin. Let us cross-verify OPT IBM plugins. So ls config. So IHS1 is still there. I have removed it, but we need to remove it manually. Config IHS1 removed. Now I will disable this one. Administration server port. By default, it is 8008, and I'll give IHS admin as yeah.
So that application mapping to web server will be always
by default it will be all. By default, it will be all
in real time actually.
Yes. Yes. By default, it will be all, and you can select none because at the time of application deployment, you can map if it is required. But what if you don't want and you forgot? Then also it will be mapped to IHS, right?
No,
so it is
my question is like in real time we have to allow them or else we have to keep it as none.
No, it depends. Like if you may have few internal applications, right? And you may have the publicly accessed applications in production. So you have to map. If you are using IHS in the front end, you have to map the applications for public access. And if you are deploying internal applications, then you don't have to map to IHS instance. You can directly access with the internal URL.
I think you got my question, right? So see, while deploying, we have to map the IHS, right?
Yes.
See, these option, whatever we are seeing here, like application mapping to the web server, if we allow, by default, it will allow for the all applications.
Yes.
So in real time, so if how it will be like, we have to allow for all the applications, or we have to keep it as none?
So that is what I'm saying. It depends upon your requirement. So the type of application and application access, if you keep it all, the applications that are only restricted to be accessed internally, not publicly, you don't have to map it with the IHS, right?
Okay, got it. So yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So if you have if you have a load balancer in front of IHS, then you can map the internal applications as well. Not a problem. Why? Because the load balancer is the client-facing server, and that will be your public URL. And you will not share the IHS URL for your internal application with the load balancing team to configure. So you can access the internal applications as well from the IHS using IHS URL, right? So yeah, if we select none at the time of deployment, we can map whichever the applications we want to be accessed by, maybe internally or public access. Now, finish. It will create a definition, review, synchronize. Okay. Now, how come it is started? Yes, I'll tell you the reason why it is started. Yeah, let us click this one and configuration file. Okay, authentication failure to connect with. This is what I have copied here. Could not make connection with IBM HTTP administration server. So the DMGR is not able to communicate with the IHS because in order to communicate with the IHS, it has to go to IBM HTTP administration server on this node. So check the remote administration server username and password properties. So basically, what is the thing? Here we have given the IBM HTTP servers administration server port and the username and password. We are asking DMGR to use these credentials to connect with or to communicate with HTTP admin server so that it can control which one? DMGR can control and administer IHS. All right. So now actually IHS is on its own and it is not controlled by DMGR. So in order to in order to provide the entire management of IHS to the DMGR, we need to configure the same user credentials on IHS as well, right? So way to configure OPT